The fact that someone is a pastor is not the reason why you feel like you should marry to the person. I feel like everybody knows that when you start doing too much, like something you is telling you, stop it right there. Remove that text. Just put full stop. No need for that emoji. Okay? Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about relationships. I'm talking about red flags in relationships. And I am actually just reacting to a TikTok video that I saw and I found quite funny, but I think that is like really useful for anyone that is in a relationship or planning to get into one. If you've been following this channel, you know that I haven't actually spoken about relationships on this channel. I don't know if I've been avoiding it, I just haven't really spoken about it. But some people actually asked me to talk a bit about it, and I decided to do this very light-hearted video to kind of comment on some of the things I saw in this TikTok video. Anyway, before we go on, if you're new here, please subscribe. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. My name is Susan, and on this channel I talk about lifestyle, growth, faith, and a little bit about having a career in technology. This is not a scripted video, so it might not like be coming out refined and stuff, because I feel like this is a conversation, even though it's one-sided, but I hope that you can also learn from it as well. So I'm going to be looking down because I'm looking at my phone to watch the video, but the video will probably be somewhere up on the screen.
What do Christians think is the biggest red flag? What do you think is the biggest red flag in a Christian man?
God told me that you're my wife.
Oh my goodness, that is a good one. I actually felt that this was a common thing from like back in the day when people could not really express their emotions, and so it was okay to hide under the umbrella of God told me. But it's quite interesting to know that this is still happening in our day when like people are supposed to be all vocal and articulate about their feelings, right? It's very strange. Anyway, I think that it logically doesn't make sense for you to expect someone to agree to a relationship based on the fact that you heard God tell you something. Like, it's not even safe. It's not ideal for you to do that. And the reason is because you definitely want whoever you are making this very crucial life decision with to hear for themselves and to be able to, also be super sure that God is leading them in that direction. So I'm not saying that it's wrong, or that God doesn't tell people that this is the person I want you to marry. God does in some cases. I don't think it's the norm, but in some cases it does. But even if that is the case, I don't think that you should approach someone with that information. If you're really convinced that God has asked you to start a relationship with this person, or that this person is your wife, then you should pray that the other person sees it. And even if you want to reach out and talk to them, just let them know you're interested in a friendship or a relationship, get to know them, just be friends, and don't just like scare them off by saying God said. The second part to this is that I feel that it is actually quite dangerous when you are set on God told you, right? And it is specifically about a person. I believe that God can lead you to start a relationship with someone, but the issue with insisting that God told you that it must be this person is that when you now find yourself in a situation where there are obvious red flags that you should not be in this relationship, that you need to let go of this relationship, then it's going to be very hard, and you're going to be reluctant and hesitant because you're quite sure that God told you that it is this person. And this brings me to my third thinking about this whole God told me situation, and that is that I do not believe that there is one person for one person, like there is one soulmate or one person that you're destined to be with. God can place you in somebody's life to be somebody's husband, to be somebody's wife, but it doesn't mean that they are the ultimate. Like, if you don't get married to them, you won't fulfill God's will for your life. Let's just think about it. Imagine Tara is meant for Tolu, or Tara thinks she's meant for Tolu, and then Tolu wakes up one day and is like, I want to be a reverend father. And Tolu's mom and dad, they're asking him, Kilo Shelle, what's going on? How can you just wake up and say that you want to be a reverend? What is going on? And Tolu insists, what do you want Tara to do? Is she going to go and grab him and say, no, because you are God's will for my life, you can never become a reverend father? That is Tolu's decision, right? And Tara cannot force him to become a husband because he has decided to make that decision. My point in this is that I believe that God can direct you to make decisions, but God is not going to force you to make a particular decision. We make mistakes as human beings. The fact that we don't take a particular route or follow a particular direction does not mean ultimately we wouldn't fulfill God's will for our lives. There are decisions that we might take that might take us longer to get to those points that God wants us to be, but it doesn't mean once you miss one route like this, or once you miss one person like this, that's the end for you. No, I don't believe that. And people have different situations too. People that eventually end up getting married, maybe the husband passes on, the wife dies, something happens in the family, an accident, whatever, doesn't mean that they're not going to fulfill God's will for their life. No, life is still going to go on, right? Like their whole destiny or God's will for them is not going to end because that person has died. So bottom line is, God is asking you to be in a relationship with this person. But like, if there are red flags, you should still be able to make a decision that, hey, I'm not going to be in this relationship again.
What do you think is the biggest red flag in a Christian girl? Pastor's daughter.
I think that is hilarious. You, sir, I believe are the red flag, because I don't see any reason why anyone should have a problem with pastor's daughters or even a pastor if you're a girl. I understand that some people might have issues with getting married to a pastor because of all the responsibilities that come with it. But for a guy to have a problem with a pastor's daughter, I believe that guy was joking. If the girl has Christian qualities, she's loving, she's caring, she's kind, because she's a pastor's daughter, should not be a red flag to you. And if it is, then you are the red flag. Another reason why this might have been a thing is, I know when we were much younger, people used to say that the people that used to do the worst things were pastors' kids, right? And maybe that's an angle that this person could be coming from. But I don't think that is the norm. Like, you would have scenarios where for some reason maybe a child goes astray, a child that is a pastor's kid is, not necessarily being a Christian, right? Like in their lives. And that is the only reason why you would say, oh, this person could be a red flag. Because even though they're a pastor's kid, it doesn't necessarily mean, that they are Christians, right? And that's also the point behind getting to know someone personally and getting to know them for themselves and getting to know them by discernment as well. Because there are some things that you would not also be able to see or know just by interacting with somebody. But if you are in tune with the Spirit of God, God will, tell you the things that you need to know about this person. Bottom line, the fact that somebody's a pastor's kid, the fact that a girl is a pastor's kid, a guy is a pastor's kid, is not a reason why you should feel like you need to be married to this person. I mean, the fact that someone is a pastor is not the reason why you feel like you should marry to the person. If the person is a pastor, because someone can be a pastor, someone can be a pastor's kid, but outside church, they're somebody else, right? So, and that is why it's also important to look out for the fruit of the Spirit in people, right? Beside just the title, what they do in the church and all those things are important. Serving in church is important, all those other things. But like how they live their lives, the patterns, how their philosophy about life, their philosophy about things like service, helping people, being there for people, those are things that are pretty important. Your values, what are your values, and do those values align with this person as well? Okay.
What do you think is the biggest red flag in a Christian male?
Definitely when he's not humble.
Oh. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a red flag if the person that you're interested in is not a humble person. And a lot of people, I believe, do not prioritize this. I feel it could be because, there's still that attraction, right? You still have an attraction for somebody, but you are not seeing those sides that could potentially hurt the relationship. And it's really important because pride comes in different ways. Pride is not one of the things that demonstrate love. And so there is no way that a proud person will not hurt the relationship and will not hurt you. It could be the simple things like being teachable, like being able to talk to somebody and the person listens to you, the person hears you out. How does this person treat their family members? How do they treat your sibling, your parents? How do they treat people that you respect? How do they treat them? These are very important things. They might not look like much at the beginning, but it's something that you can't overlook. Some of the signs that demonstrate a proud person is someone that is self-absorbed, someone that literally can hear themselves speak for 1 hour straight. Someone that struggles to admit that they are wrong. Like, they can tell that they are wrong, but they either try to find a way to twist the story or change the situation or the context so that they don't have to admit. I also think, I believe that someone that is really secure in themselves would not have a problem admitting when they are wrong. These are just some of the things that describe someone that is proud. For example, someone that is also condescending in the way they talk to people, right? Like, so someone that basically tries to bring you down in conversations, maybe even going out, how do they treat people that serve you, right? If there's a small mistake with the order, how do they behave? This is not to say some people don't pretend about these things, so let's not get it twisted, right? Some people can pretend for, but you can only pretend for so long, right? There are still some things that will show up in some way, right? Because yeah, you can't just pretend for so long. Okay.
What do you think is the biggest red flag in a girl?
When they text me first.
Interesting. So I don't think that this should be a red flag. I think it depends on the situation, right? So it depends if the person is texting you on a platonic level, like maybe the person is trying to find out how you are, the person is just texting you and not like actively like trying to go beyond like the normal friendship text and stuff like that. If you're not friends, right, and the person texts you, that might come off a bit bold, right? But like if the person is now going the extra mile too much, because I feel like everybody knows that when you start doing too much, like something you is telling you, stop it right there, remove that text. Just put full stop. No need for that emoji, right? Every person is doing too much. Maybe you guys hardly know each other and the person's like dumping emojis in your DMs and stuff. I don't know. Like that can be a bit sketchy. But like if it's not that, then I do not consider it a red flag. Personally, if I were to text somebody, maybe when I was single, I probably wouldn't text you if there is nothing specific I'm looking for. Maybe like I forgot something. You forgot something with me. I forgot to ask you about something. There has to be a specific reason. I would not text you randomly, especially if I like you. We are going to be looking at each other till the kingdom come. Like that's never going to happen because I'm just not that kind of person. I know some people can do it, but I feel like you should just draw the line. Like make sure you know when you start doing too much. Okay, if you have to text somebody, but you guys are not friends, you're just meeting the person for the first time. Calm down, sis. For the guys, I feel guys can tend to do too much because they're the ones trying to pursue, right? But for the girls, just keep it together. And the reason I say this is not just for the sake of, oh, you're a guy or you're a girl. I say this because some people take advantage of this. Like if you start, maybe texting a lot and doing all of that, the person might like you. The person might not like you as much as you like them. And they might take advantage of you showing interest because generally, guys are not used to as much as attention as girls are used to. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And so when they see that kind of attention, like they could take advantage of the person. This is not to say that they are no good guys, right? There are not some people that will, just not really hold it against you or not take advantage of you because of that. But there are more crazy people than good people. So this is my reason for saying this. It's not like you can't be bold and text anybody you want or do anything you want. We're in a free world right now, so nobody can tell anybody what to do, really. But like for the sake of you also wanting to preserve, I guess, your pride, your self-respect, you don't want to be out there in people's DMs like doing too much. Basically, like just try to calm down. Just try to calm down, okay? So that's what I think about that.
What do you think is the biggest red flag in a girl?
When they text me first.
If she does not raise her hands during worship.
This one took me out. Come on. I don't think that is a serious red flag. Like, I think that was absolutely a joke for sure.
Whenever they say, God told me that we're supposed to get married.
Just like the first one, right?
Facts. What do you think is the biggest red flag in a Christian girl?
Probably if she doesn't highlight her Bible all the way through.
Come on. Not everybody uses a highlighter. That shouldn't even matter. Like, that's not important. Like, come on. So I think that was just a joke. Anyway, that's it. I hope you guys learned like a couple of red flags that you can certainly detect when you spot them, like in a potential partner, in anybody that you're interested in. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video as well. If you want me to do more content like this, please add a comment in the comment section and let me know. And let me know also what you think is a red flag in Christian relationships that you are in, or that you have witnessed, or that you know someone that is in. Just put it in the comments. I'm interested to know. So thank you guys for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.